Okay, this is the fourth part now. On this video I do the boot, which obviously, well, it actually turns into two pairs of boots. Even on the concept he only has one, but I just couldn't be bothered to sculpt out his foot, so pretty lazy, but you know, I just sort of mirrored across his boot when I did. So making the boot involved multiple subtools. What I did, I took the old sort of blocking of the boot and I just sort of made a new tool separate to the actual Mutant tool, just so I didn't have to sort of turn on and off all the different sort of body parts and that, so I could just focus on the boot. I found this useful every now and again, but the process that I use to make this boot is I duplicate each sort of well, I sort of did the base sculpt as you saw. I sort of planned out where these sort of side sort of segments of the boot were going to go, and then I duplicated the entire mesh, and then I just hid out the rest of the mesh that I didn't need, and then deleted the hidden and re-dynameshed. I use this process loads of times just because I don't like using the extraction method anymore. I prefer this method. I don't know, I just feel like I get a bit more sort of nicer shapes and stuff using it. So that's pretty much how I got the separate side bits of this boot, and it's just a matter of matching your reference up and that. I think I need to sort of make them less round on the front a little bit and maybe pushing the sides. They look really sort of thick at this point. You'll see it just looks, I don't know, it just there's just something really off-putting at this moment. I really feel the need to edit, so I'm going to go in and do that later on when I'm sort of refining the entire model. But I think overall the boots do look pretty kick-ass, especially when I start doing like the shoelaces and stuff. And when you sort of, what you have to think about when you're doing stuff at sort of detail like boots and stuff is how big is this going to be on my actual model, you know? When you're thinking about, you know, because when you're in Zbrush, it's really easy to get lost in doing details because you have to think about what scale they're going to be in the world of this game. So I didn't want to over detail it. I didn't want to go into like millions and millions of polygons because it's such a small sort of piece of this character. I mean, I did go into some detail, like you see me doing here, these sort of little buckles for the shoelaces. I just thought it'd be a pretty sort of major sort of thing to add on this, otherwise it wouldn't be the same sort of boot. So I did this, just playing around with different primitives and, you know, making new shapes out of them. It's not accurate at all. It's not like, I don't know, it just needed to be something similar looking, you know. I mean, from a distance they look totally fine, so I did them down the side, just using the method of dynameshing primitive shapes and stuff, like the circle, the hoop, the hoop and the cylinder and stuff. You know, think about how you can make shapes from what Zbrush is offering you. You don't always have to start from scratch. You know, just refining some of the creases there, and the alpha. I switched to a different alpha in a minute. I think you'll see. Wait for it. So there you go. This alpha that I'm using now, I can't actually see it on this because I'm watching the video whilst I'm recording this. But that alpha is really awesome for doing creases. I don't know why, but it's just got this sort of odd smoothing effect to it, just because of the way it's sort of, there's no harsh sort of edges on this alpha. It's just really sort of faded out of the circle. It's just awesome. I really do like this alpha for doing creases on clothing. Give it a go. But yeah, the boot's sort of coming to an end now. I'm just adding in some stitching details and stuff. As you can see on here, just using standard brush with a better sort of lazy mouse settings on there. I think I just finished the stitching on here, and then I started making some shoelaces. I used a bit of extraction to get the shoelace going, and then inflated it a little bit to make it more round. Because I didn't want the shoelaces to look perfect, so it really works wonders for me doing this sort of dirty little method here, because the shoelaces ended up looking all ragged and all, which is what I wanted. And it was just a case of duplicating and using transpose tool to place them all around and stuff. But I think the tongue of this boot is too wide. Just looks a bit wrong. So probably going to edit that later on. But I'm going to do a whole sort of refining stage of this, just to make it look all nice and that. But I actually used a Z-sphere to get the longer sort of shoelaces in there. Just a bit easier to sort of plan it out on that. And then I brought it all back into the actual character here, and I sort of re-sculpt the bottom of his jeans just to fit the boot a little better. I was always going to have to do that because of how big this boot was. And here I was starting to think about mirroring the boot across, which I do using Subtoolmaster, and then I actually copy the bottom of his jeans across as well and sort of sculpt out the top part of it so it's all ripped open and that. I just thought it'd be a nice touch instead of, and it just looked really odd because the boot is really wide and his shin is quite thin, so yeah, I just added in some bit jeans on the bottom there. Made them all sort of worn and torn. Probably need to do some more edits on this as well. But for now, I'm just sort of being really sort of rough on the details and stuff. You know, just getting everything down before I lose interest. I think it's really important. And that's pretty much concludes the boot sculpting video. Yeah.